Hello.
Hello, St. Stephen's.
Hello, party people.
This is the place.
This is the place. I don't know about you, but last year when we did this, they're going to play. That's ambiance, Sarah. My wife's already correcting me. I made it 15 seconds in. The last year when we did this was exactly the way I pictured this year would be.
Well, you know what, Mark? I don't remember last year, but I understand that it was very successful, and we've been invited back.
Yes, that's a miracle right there. So we'll start with. I love repeating things. It's one of my hobbies. So I'm going to repeat something tonight a lot, and it's going to be charityauction.bid/nutmeg. We hope to have a little bit of fun. We're going to be informative. Hopefully.
Very informative.
Very informative.
This was.
By the way, to the band, you're absolutely terrific.
Thank
Thank you very much. This is the first time they've performed with shirts on since March, so thank you. They've been at home. Anyway, so we're gonna. The purpose of tonight is to raise some money, right? We're gonna, there's St. Stephen's does so much in this community. There's gonna be 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. Donation. Destinations.
Absolutely.
And what they've done is we've done, I guess, they've broken it up into the groups, so that way, if there's one of these areas that you feel stronger about than the other, feel free to, give your money just to that section. If you feel equally as strong, spread it out over the 4. They're all just terrific causes. We hope that you get a little bit of insight into how these places operate.
And, this has been a challenging year for everybody. Not the least of which is charitable organizations, and St. Stephen's among them. St. Stephen's could have said, well, this is the wrong year. We're not going to be able to have the support for the organizations in the greater Danbury area that we used to have. But
they're stepping up.
We didn't do that.
Yeah, we didn't do it.
No,
because they're St. Stephen's we're doing our best to do our part, thanks to the leadership of Whitney and the entire vestry and all of you. I mean, that's the church is a community, and we're all part of it. So thank you all for being here. We were talking before. They had 4 donation destinations, but I was walking around tonight, and after seeing Rob Kennard and Jonathan Taylor, I think we should have a 5th. I think we should raise money to get them both haircuts. Because I don't know if you guys have seen them, but the word, and I'm sorry if this is offensive, but the word dirty hippie came to mind when I saw Rob. I mean, Jonathan, I thought.
And that was before he grew his hair out.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the 5th one. We'll try to get that on the website for the night's over, so you have to give to the other 4 until then. So the first donation destination, which once again is at charityauction.bid/nutmeg, is food services. We're going to introduce a little video for one of the charities, but I'll list them off.
Sure.
It's fine. So the first one is Meals on Wheels. The second is Victory Christian Center. The third is the Association of Religious Communities, ARC-, is it Comida? It's a Comida. I'm pretty good at that. Interfaith AIDS Services, Jericho Partnership, Morning Glory Breakfast Program. It's Catholic Charities. Dorothy Day, St. Stephen's, the Little Pantry, which any of you know is the Little Pantry out front, and St. Stephen's Samaritan Gardens, which I guess is
right here.
We grow food and give it to folks, which is lovely. I like zucchini next year when you're planting. But the Tom and I were talking earlier, Tom's got this weird pumpkin spice fetish. I don't know if you guys are into pumpkin spice, but Tom,
I really am.
What list off for me the things flavored with pumpkin you've had this week.
Well, it was
going to tell you.
Just today, I had a delicious Dunkin' pumpkin latte.
Oh, it's amazing.
And I'm not sure I said that right. I had to get Janine to order it for me, but it was delicious. And it's just, I'm struck all the time by the cornucopia, if you will, of food that is available to us.
Exactly. I saw today, there's actually, believe it or not, there's pumpkin flavored mac and cheese.
How can you go wrong?
Yeah, which sounds absolutely foul, but if you're into
sort of like lobster ice cream.
Oh, I like lobster ice cream. Be nice.
No, you can have that.
So anyway, but the point of it is I'm looking around here, and the folks are here, and probably most people who are watching this are probably going, you know what? Instead of my regular latte, maybe I will have a pumpkin latte because we have choices. we don't think about, are we going to eat today? Are we going to drink? Not just alcohol, other stuff too. Are we going to drink whatever? We think about, what variety is it going to be? But a lot of folks in the community don't have that kind of choice. Their choice is, am I going to eat or not eat?
Right.
And a lot of these organizations that we're supporting help to fill in those gaps with people so they don't have to make that decision of eat or not eat. Meals on Wheels, the aid center, all these things there. So that's our first tranche, our first donation destination that we're going to show you a video on. And do you want to comment more? Should we?
Not a thing.
All right, let's roll.
Let's see it.
We got it. Let's roll the video.
Oh, hi, Lynn. It's great to see you. I'm just getting ready to feed my family. And I understand you work for Dorothy Day and you feed a lot of people.
We certainly do, Whitney. Dorothy Day Hospitality House has been feeding the hungry and sheltering the homeless in Danbury at the same location since 1982. That's 38 years.
Wow. How many people do you feed?
Well, prior to the governor's stay-at-home orders, we served breakfast from 6:30 in the morning till 9 o'clock, a hot meal at 3:15, and in the winter months, from November 1st till April 1st, we served a light supper. So last year, we served over 23,000 hot meals out of our kitchen, and 11,000 people asked for second helpings. And when they leave, they took with them 14,000 bag lunches. And that evening meal program, there were over 5,000 evening meals provided during the winter months. So we're feeding a lot of people in our community.
That is incredible. And 365 days a year of making sure that people are fed is quite remarkable. So how has it changed since the pandemic?
Well, prior to the governor's stay-at-home order, we did that. Since the pandemic, we haven't been allowed to serve people in our 2 dining rooms. So we've had to be nimble and we've had to kind of improvise how we feed people. So currently we're sending 60 breakfasts every day to the Super 8 Hotel on Lake Avenue in Danbury. That is where our homeless people are being housed during the pandemic. Then at the kitchen on Spring Street, we're handing out 80 to 100 what I call grab and go meal bags every day at the kitchen from 3 to 4:30. And each bag contains a bottle of water, 2 sandwiches, a bag of chips, a piece of fruit, and usually a granola bar. In addition, we send 20 or 30, I call them lunch bags, to Super 8 for the homeless who are staying there for lunch. And on weekends, we send the extra bag lunches to elderly housing, where people who living there don't receive services from Meals on Wheels on weekends. And they had stay-at-home orders too. They couldn't go to the store. They couldn't receive food from Meals on Wheels. So that's part of our changes in terms of what happened after COVID.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so resilient. So tell me, how do you pay for all this?
Well, we like to say that God provides. Dorothy Day doesn't fundraise. We don't receive any grants from city, state, or federal government. We really do rely on the generosity of faith communities, civic organizations, businesses, scouting groups, even schools doing food drives. And we have no paid staff, and we rely on 200 to 300 volunteers to carry out our day-to-day operations. And that has worked for the past 38 years. And we certainly hope that it's going to work for the next 38 years, because food insecurity in our communities is through the roof. You can see it in the long lines at these food distribution events in every town around Danbury. So many people have lost their jobs. Schools are closed. Kids aren't receiving free breakfast and lunch at school. And the needs are great, and we are going to try to continue to meet those needs here in Danbury.
Wow, Lynn, that's incredible. Thank you for your good work, and thank you for telling us about the Dorothy Day Center and all that you do.
And thank you for cooking for your family.
Have a good day.
You too.
Mark, is that not something? Let's hear it for Dorothy Day.
Yeah.
And that is just one of the several that Mark mentioned before in this donation destination. Food insecurity is a real thing, and COVID has personally made me much more aware, and I'm sure all of us much more aware of the need here. So please go to charityauction.bid/nutmeg and donate as generously as you can.
Yeah. I didn't. I was struck by. I didn't realize what a hard interview Whitney is. Like she really had a couple of gotcha questions, which I don't think was fair. But we'll just leave it up to you. I guess it's that it's just sort of it felt like an attack, but we'll talk about it later.
Oh, later on.
Later on. So our next donation destination, not a vector, a donation destination, is shelter. Everybody needs shelter, right? Everyone here?
It's fundamental.
Probably lives in a house, condo, apartment. You have shelter. Not everyone's that fortunate, unfortunately. So I'm going to list off. Off some charities that we're supporting here. Amos House, which I personally love. Amos House, Association of Religious Communities, Laundry Love, Housatanic Habitat, Dorothy Day again. They also provide shelter. Jericho also provides shelter, and Renewal House. So those are the charities that we're supporting. You little fun facts about a couple, or you want to jump? What do you want to do?
I just want to say one thing, that one of the wonderful things about Ridgefield and the greater Danbury area is all of the caring and loving that is out there for those who are less fortunate than us. And shelter is just one of those examples.
Yes, it is. 1 of 5, including haircuts.
1 of 5, yes.
Yeah. So the Amos House, since I mentioned that one, is, I think Amos House is like the classic teach a man to fish sort of organization. There's a lot of people in St. Stephen's. I think Jack Vaughn might still be on the board there. I know Bruce Simon was involved there for a long time. They take women in. I guess they're non-gender specific now, but mostly female.
Mostly women, yes.
Mostly women that have come in bad situations, and a lot of people are one bad turn away from needing help. So they take them in, and they don't just give them a place to live and say, hey, just live here forever. I think the average stay is about 12 or 18 months. And they help train them. They help them to get jobs, help them get back in the community, to get this, not just a job, but a sense of self-worth. So, that one, I'll focus on that one a little bit. I like that one a lot. Once again, I like them all, but I want to focus on that one. So should we roll?
Yeah, let's roll the video, Jonathan.
So let's roll the video on shelter, Jonathan. Thank you.
Oh, hi, how are you? Don't forget your seatbelt.
Oh, thanks. Where are you off to for this flight?
I'm going on a long vacation, and it's going to be so relaxing. It's taken me so much time and energy to, get ready to pack my bags and buy my personal things and update my passport. It's really a lot.
Wow, that sounds nice. Well, good luck to you.
Thanks. So why are you on this flight?
Because you invited me here to talk about the Women's Center.
Oh, the Women's Center. That's right. Yeah, you guys have a shelter in Danbury, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have a residential facility, which is emergency housing for women and children who are fleeing abusive situations.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And so that's a really safe place that you're providing. They go from being danger to having a safe place and how long do they stay there? Like a couple days?
Well, every case is so different, but usually it's several months to up to a year. And
Wow.
It's a huge turning point in their life when they decide that it's safe to leave.
So they must really have to prepare themselves, just like I did, for going there. If they're going to stay there for 30 days or a year, I'm sure they're packing bags and getting everything ready.
Well, it's different with every client. So there are times where we're able to safety plan and prepare a little bit before they come to our residential facility. However, there are other times that they come to our facility with just the clothes on their back, and same thing for their children.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what happens on the other end after you've provided the safe place for them?
So the primary focus at first is just to get them their basic needs. So a roof over their head, food, shelter, and just somewhere safe to live. After that, we'll provide case management. We'll help them with their finances. We'll provide them with support, counseling, all the things that they need in order to sustain their own life.
And of course, you have to get money for this from outside sources, because I can't imagine these people pay for this.
Yes, so all of our services are free and confidential, and so we get some funding through state agencies. However, 50% of our costs have to come from our 3 major fundraising events, third-party events, and non-government grants.
So what else does the Women's Center do?
So we have a variety of services. We have court advocates located at Danbury Superior Court who provide legal advocacy, both in the criminal and civil areas. And so that could be divorce, custody, visitation, restraining orders, and just helping them through the criminal justice process if they're victims of crime.
Wow. What else?
We also have advocates at Connecticut, Western Connecticut State University, and we have 2 campus advocates. They provide counseling, crisis intervention, as well as educational programs for the student body. And then at our main headquarters, we have our counselor advocates who really do a lot of ongoing counseling. We have support groups, workshops. They also do crisis intervention work and crisis response when needed. And then last but not least, we have our education department who provides education, training, and outreach throughout the community and schools.
That's amazing. I didn't realize that you guys did all that. Certainly helps spread. Oh, look, he just said that we're landing.
Oh.
So, it's been really nice to fly with you.
Well, it's been really nice talking to you, and thanks for talking to me about the Women's Center. Feel free to spread the word. We really need all the support we can get.
Sure will.
Thanks.
The Danbury Women's Center. I'm really impressed with all of the scope of what they do. And I'm sure you heard Jeffrey mention something about money. And let's not forget the reason that we're here this evening is to try to raise some money for each one of these causes, like the Danbury Women's Center. So I'd ask you to...
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you know that thing, put your money where your mouth is?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so my wife's here. So, Sarah, can you give $500 to the shelter?
Wow.
Okay, rolling. Okay. And I'm willing to bet that my good friend Tom Carr, in Worcester, he's a much more important guy than I am. So I imagine he'll do more than that, but I imagine he'll at least match me, right?
Well,
trust me, I've seen the way this guy rolls. This is nothing for him.
So, Healing Hearts. No, as a matter of fact, I have a shill in the audience right now, my lovely wife, Janine, and I'm going to ask that we match that $500. And I'd ask anybody else out there for $1,000, $500, $250, whatever you feel comfortable with. But just bear in mind how important these services are.
Yeah, because this is like this year, the money ask is going to be a little bit less delicate than in previous years.
Well, we have to.
It's, because
we don't have time for delicacy.
We just decided, we could have warmed you up where you guys were bidding on $5 fruit baskets and, the wine
or a
bowl.
fishing trip that never gets done.
We decided this year just to go for the jugular and just ask for cash. But they're all, seriously, they're all great organizations. I mean, Jeffrey Morris, I don't know if you guys know it, but his next job, he's taking over for The Daily Show. After that was actually his interview tape for The Daily Show. So this is kind of a stepping stone. So maybe he'll be getting a lot of money too. But but in all seriousness, I'm looking at, we have a thermometer. If you guys look at the website, our goal is $30,000, which is a lot of money, But you break it apart. Each of the donation destinations, we're looking for about $7,500.
Right.
Right now we're just under 2,000, so we're actually less than 10% to our goal. So. We're going to be here for a little while. We're not going to let you leave till we get to...
You can't go until we're there.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to get ugly. But no, seriously, please be generous as you can. And the next topic will keep us moving is emotional support.
Yes. And Jonathan, if you could...
Well, actually,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Whitney is not a backseat driver at all.
No.
She's been yelling at us
Just ask Michael.
coming over, but...
It's charityauction.bid/nutmeg.
By the way, Whitney was the one that guided Michael through all of his photographs with his beard. So she was the artistic director. So I'll just list them and then we'll get to things. So the Danbury Youth Services, Family and Children Aid, Association of Religious Communities, Amos House again, Our Children, H-O-U-R Children, Jericho, Renewal House, Women's Center of Greater Danbury, and TBICO, which I don't know what that stands for, but they are amazing. What she
Whitney
said.
knows.
All right, roll the tape. Please give money. Thank you.
Oh, hi. Sorry to greet you with such an exhale. I'm Whitney, and I've just had such an emotionally laborious day. How are you?
I'm doing well, and it's okay. Take a deep breath. You know, we're all a little stressed. Take a deep breath. I know a little bit about stress and how it can impact our lives sometimes. And my name's Joanna Di Nicola. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. You're probably just the person I need to talk to. Yeah, tell me about the people that you help.
So, as a licensed clinical social worker that specializes in grief support, I work with a wonderful program called the Healing Hearts Program of Regional Hospice here in Danbury, Connecticut. And specifically, what we do is we support grieving individuals. And I'd be happy to chat with you about that.
That would be fantastic. So tell me how it is that you support grieving individuals. What's it look like?
So for us, what it looks like is connecting people. What we specifically offer is group support for members of the community. We also offer specialized grief support to families who've had loved ones on our hospice program. And what I'm going to specifically talk about is our group program, which is open to anyone in the community. We have some family members that have had loved ones on our regional hospice program, but quite often the people in our Healing Hearts groups come from the community and they've had a loved one die, not necessarily from an extended illness. And we have programs from the youngest children up through the most senior of people, because grief and death happen at any point in our life journey. And so we offer specialized support groups for the different types of losses that people have.
So what does this cost for those that want to use that service, Healing Hearts?
So actually, one of the most amazing things about this program, which has been around for decades, is that there is no cost to the participants in the program. Grief is quite a business, and losing a loved one can be very expensive for families to navigate, whether it's the unexpected costs of a sudden loss and not being prepared for funeral costs and being away from work, or the costs that can go along with a loved one who has been ill for a long time, and we may miss work, we may not be able to be present in that way. So our program is wonderful because there is no cost. We really rely on community support from organizations, from people in the community to support us on this journey. One of the things that people often are so relieved to hear when they call and they are grieving and they say to me, how much does it cost? Or do you need my insurance information? Or I don't have insurance. I lost my insurance when my spouse died, perhaps. And I'm able to say to them, you know, this is not therapy, it's not counseling. It's a support system that is going to be free. And we're here for you. That's one thing you can take off your list of things that you're worried about right now. You don't have to worry about the cost.
I don't know why I never knew this before, but I'm so glad to have met you today and to have learned about Healing Hearts. Thank you so much for taking the time to tell me about this incredible work that you lead.
Thank you, Whitney. Thank you. It's really an honor. And, you know, it's funny when you ask our volunteers and people often say, how do you do this work? It must be so sad. And everyone expresses that it is so life affirming. And it's really an honor to be with people on their grief journey. I really consider it quite an honor, and it's a sacred journey for people to trust us at that time in their life. So I'm happy to be there as program manager and have these wonderful, wonderful volunteers who give of their time, and so happy to tell you about this program today and help spread the word.
Great.
Healing Hearts.
That's terrific.
Something that was said there that really kind of strikes home to me is that grief is quite a business. And that's very true. And COVID has affected so many businesses in so many different ways, some negatively, a lot negatively, some positively, strangely enough. And if you're in the grief business, I will bet that your demand is higher now than it's ever been. And to meet that demand, you need money to be able to support the programs that help, like Healing Hearts. And again, I'd ask you to please go to charityauction.bid/nutmeg and really consider what you just heard and consider how much you might be able to give to that donation distribution.
Yeah, my good friend made a good point. There are, my business, we see it. There's definitely businesses that are doing better and doing worse. So I'm looking out here in this crowd, and you guys can't see online, but there's probably about 1,000 people here.
Oh, easily.
Easily, maybe.
I mean, that's just the ones I can see.
Yeah. It's bigger than Trump's inauguration. But the anyway,
it's about the same.
It's about the same. Anyhow, we'll move on. But looking at these people, some of you are in that category that are doing better. And what better time to take some of that largesse and give it back to people in need? This is, like I said, we're going to be less delicate than we were last year asking for money, because it's all the, and Whitney, please correct me if I'm wrong, but all of the money we're raising in this right now goes to these charities. None of this goes to, well, we could probably use it. None of it goes to paying the heating bill or taking care of the campus. All the money goes to these charities. So you can rest assured that every dollar you give falls directly through. So
no overhead from here.
No overhead. So except for we work.
Well, except our salary.
Union wages, though.
Yes,
we have to work in scale.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we could have equity.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so,
we'd be in trouble.
But in all seriousness, please, like I said, dig deep on this one. Like I said, we're about to introduce the last film. I was trying to cobble together one for the hair, but Jonathan Taylor couldn't do it quickly enough. But I'm going to try to do this. I haven't seen the camera, but
That's the hair charity?
Next year we'll have the hair charity. That'll be. Rob and I will lead that effort.
And talk about a poster child. Hey, Jonathan, do we have any ability to see where we are money-wise? Or is that... We do.
Which on the note before, first things first. Jonathan, come for the camera. All of you guys know Jonathan's normally high and tight. Look at this poor guy. Shake it out for us, Jonathan. Give us the flow.
It's a beautiful thing.
Give us the flow. You can pick any of the 4 charities to give money to, and I guarantee you I will pay for this poor man to get a haircut.
And I'd also say, where would we be without Jonathan?
Exactly. Yeah, thank you, Jonathan, very much.
Here's where we are on the money for this vector, for this category. 410 and a 75.
Yeah, we're not doing well in this vector, guys. You guys got to step up.
Where are we?
Not well.
Not well. 400.
Yeah.
We're not doing well.
I think
I know we can do better.
I think it's still moving. We're at 46, 47. We're still under $5,000. So we need to now. If you're going to give, like I said, we're about to start the last video. I think it stays open for a day. Is that right, Whitney? It stays open for a day, but hey, what better time than the present to give? So
now I do know, Mark, that because I had this discussion with Janine, that rather than checking out each of the 4 different donation destinations, one might decide to check out all at once. So I am confident that what we're going to see at the end is that all of these numbers are going to pop up.
Yes.
But please make me right.
He has to walk home if he's wrong.
Yeah, otherwise I'm walking home.
So we're on. So this is going to be our final video of the night, and like I said, the portal will be open for at least 24 hours. So please,
right.
you go home later and you feel more generous, give more. You give twice. There's no limit on how many times you can give. But the last one is career training.
Yes.
And so in career training, the charities that fall in their category are Our Children, Renewal House, Amos House, and Association of Religious Communities. And just so you guys know, because I didn't, Our Children, their goal is to nurture healthy relationships between incarcerated mothers and children. I personally think this is we've hosted kids a couple summers. We obviously couldn't do it this summer because of COVID. And it's such an important part where the mass incarceration is such a big problem in this country, and it dooms these poor kids.
Yes.
No matter what you think about law and order or whatever, think about the poor kid that's left at home without a mom or without a dad, and that kid, the odds are so stacked against that child. And so any help we can give them.
Right.
You know, I mean, like, you know, look at your own children. And I'm really going to go for the heartstrings here. So I said my kids, like, the first time we hosted with these kids, I looked at my kids, and I'm like, my kids are fine. I'm worried about if they get a A or a B or a C, but they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
You know, and
Gilding the lily.
yeah. And the kids were hosting, you're like, it's not a sure thing for them. You know,
Right.
so anything that can help them to close the gap, it's just very important. So, like I said, this is just a absolutely tremendous category. They all are, but they said, please be generous. You know, look at your own, count your blessings, and realize that that's what they are. And if you can do something to help someone else out, it's just, you know, we've all probably missed fundraisers we normally go to in the past 6 months. You probably had, you know, I know I've saved lots of money until I gave it all away, you know, on things I didn't go to. So look at that money you didn't spend and use it and put it towards these great causes.
Yeah. And just a note, you'll notice that some of the charities have come up multiple times, and that's because some of them perform functions in each one of these 4 donation distributions. So,
Oh, I thought they were just greedy.
well, you know, it's okay to be greedy if you're a charity.
That's a very good
Yes.
point.
Jonathan?
Ready to roll?
Hi, what floor would you like?
52, please.
Okay. You know, it's strange that the wall behind me is different than the wall behind you when we're both on the same elevator.
No, nothing surprises me anymore these days. So what is it that you do?
I'm in the middle of a job change, actually.
What is it you want to do?
I'm hoping to be elected president.
Oh, good luck with that.
Thank you. How about you? What is it that you do?
Well, I'm Luann Bloomer, and I work for TBICO. We help people with job changes, with career paths.
hmm
And
Tell me a little bit more about that.
well, our goal is to help people move forward in life, to help them achieve their goals through employment, through managing their money. If they come to TBICO, it's because they need a job, they need help getting a better job and supporting their family.
So they must pay you a lot of money to that. That's a lot of services that you offer.
Well, we don't charge for any of our services.
You don't charge for
Because
anything,
if they
really?
come to us, it's because they don't have the money. So that is counterproductive.
Wow. So these people are really in a hard place when they come to you.
All our services are free because our goal is to open the door to stable self-sufficiency. And it's more than just a job. It's upward mobility in that job. It's financial literacy. It's, you know, that networking, helping people not just to gain skills for the job market, but to gain a network of support so that they can navigate the career paths that'll take them further and give their children a better future.
So that must really be life-changing for these people. I mean, that's a dramatic, you know, someone who's really in a hard time, and then, you know, all of a sudden you're putting them in front of employers, you're getting them jobs, you're getting them benefits. That's really a big difference.
Yes, the point of it is believing that it doesn't matter where a person comes from, it just matters where they're going.
And how do you pay for all this?
We have a lot of volunteers. We do grant writing, fundraising. We don't get state money. We don't get federal dollars. We live very, very hand to mouth. But
Well, we're at your floor, so have a good rest of your day.
well, thank you. You too. Good luck with your presidential aspirations.
Thank you.
Wow.
Who knew?
Who knew? I guess that's the job you're going for. I was aiming too low when I said the Daily Show. So I will put we have a rule in our house: no political signs in our yard. But I will put a Jeffrey Morris for President sign out.
Mine's already there.
Yours already there.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe float a balloon.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little too much.
I live in a condo. I don't think I can. But I was just talking.
Check the rules.
Yeah, I will check the rules. I was just talking with Whitney, and
Mother Whitney.
Mother Whitney, yes, as a matter of fact, and we're not tracking well here tonight, and I don't know whether that's because perhaps you haven't hit The send button, or exactly how that works, I'm not quite sure. But you can do that after each individual donation distribution and not wait until the end. I was mistaken about that. And by doing that, we'll have a better sense of exactly where we are. Because where we need to be is up here, and at the moment, we're not there. So
the journey of 10,000 miles starts with a single step.
With a single step, and we have taken a single step.
Take a single step. So
yes.
Let's take the other.
Let's take the other 999.
Yeah,
exactly right.
Yeah. So the once again, we're gonna dwell on money giving. Is that fair?
That's what we're gonna. That's what we do.
They didn't just come because you're a great-looking guy.
No, because you are.
Oh. That was. I wanted him to say that.
Yes, he asked me to say that to him.
Thank you.
By the way, but
I want to savor that for a second.
Okay, you do that. So, Janine and I. I'm sorry, am I breaking into you? Just don't listen to me.
Go ahead.
Don't listen to me. Janine and I, for a career training, are going to donate $500, and I would like to hear a return of an equal amount, if not greater.
I think we're in as well.
Are you? Are you in?
Sarah,
are you in it to win?
Yep, we're doing 500 for a career training now too.
Sarah's leaving. Now what happened?
Yeah. So, would someone else like to?
Yeah,
donate
is there
$500?
someone else out there who might be able to do it?
Just wink. I won't even embarrass you, Rob Kennard, or anyone else. I won't call you out by name. He's standing up.
He's standing up?
He's too busy eating ribs.
That was 1,000.
Yeah, that was 1,000.
Thank you.
No,
2,000.
Yeah, there you go.
3,000.
Wow, keeps on going.
We're going to solve it here with Rob.
Exactly. So we're going to, that's really the end of the interview part of the program. And it's just, like I said, the final message. I mean, Whitney, do you want to leave any final thoughts or a blessing or sing a song? Anything? A little jazz Vesper action up here? Exactly. But like I said, so, remember I've already forgotten the name of the website. What was it again?
I've got that. Lucky, it's charity auction, one word, .bid/nutmeg.
Thank you all very much for tolerating us. And
No, don't leave, because I want to join you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to sing any karaoke or anything, even though I have some favorite songs. But a couple of things, like this garden behind us, just some fast facts about what happens here. This garden, the periphery, is all given away. And hundreds of pounds of vegetables were given away this year to Meals on Wheels so that they don't have to spend that money
that one got left
on
behind.
getting fresh food for their cooking. So I think it was Lori's over there. So I'm gonna say some pounds, and you tell me if I should go higher. I don't think I'm exaggerating. It was close to 200 pounds of vegetables. 80 pounds of tomatoes. She's going to bring it up here for a second. 80 pounds of tomatoes. Let's just say that it's $2 a pound.
And these
for
green
80
beans
pounds.
are delicious.
And nutritious.
That's $160 worth of fresh produce just in tomatoes. So I want to say it was hundreds of pounds. It was like several hundreds of pounds of vegetables that were donated from the periphery. Tomatoes were up there, but zucchini are 65 pounds of green beans.
Minus
Let's just
one.
say they were $2 a pound. Look at how much money was saved by Meals on Wheels because of the donations from this garden.
It's also fresh,
That's
healthy.
true.
Yeah, the quality of the
That's
food.
true. It's
There's
not
good quality.
the
You can do
day-old
it's like
produce that
a lot of these things that St. Stephen's does. It's the actual act, the actual charity, but it's also like the support that people get knowing there's someone out there in the world that cares for them.
That's
true. I
true.
mean, like when you're alone, whether it's a single mom or someone totally by themselves, just knowing that there's a community of people that have your back.
Exactly.
It has to add so much, to their well-being.
It can lift you up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and we heard from each of these organizations about raising money, and it's exhausting to raise money and to keep going out again and again trying to ask for what you need.
I'm tired.
You've only been on the job for 40 minutes, so
That's about all you're going to get out of them.
The other thing about this garden is that when people rent the plots, that money also goes to feeding ministries. So this is a very efficient garden. It's called Samaritan Garden because it's mindful of that story of the Good Samaritan where the person was down on their luck, actually worse than down on their luck in the story that Jesus told. He'd been robbed and beaten. So the idea of being generous before generosity is asked. I think the number, I can't remember the pounds, but just between green beans and tomatoes, and that's not even counting zucchini and the other vegetables. There was garlic, and I think there might have been onions. It was a whole long list of vegetables. So it was hundreds of dollars worth of fresh produce that was given to Meals on Wheels. And then you hear about, on our feeding piece at the start when I was interviewing Lynn at Dorothy Day, you know, she talked about
Which was
Meals
amazing,
on
by the way.
Wheels. Thank you. Meals on Wheels couldn't serve on the weekends,
Yeah.
right? So to think about the limits that we have, even in the society of in the social network of feeding people. So
And
you
I
know-
learned something I didn't know, and I was across the street from it today at the Dunkin' Donuts. That Super 8 motel in Danbury is where, is it Dorothy Day?
Actually, all the homeless shelter of Danbury moved into the Super 8 motel.
Right, and food is brought there by Dorothy Day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that happened back in April, I think, that the shelter closed and the Super 8 became the spot for people to stay because the Super 8 wasn't doing any business. So
Right.
Right.
exactly.
Yeah,
So Tom, do you feel good right now?
I feel good. I could feel better.
Yeah. Well, I feel really good because it always makes me feel good to give money. Like I have $1,000 less than I did 20 minutes ago. Thanks,
Yeah.
Tom. But first time I met Whitney, I won't say exactly what I said to her, but I especially said, what I said to her is that,
I remember this. Let me tell it, Mark.
okay, I'll let you tell her.
It'll be faster.
I don't know if it'll be faster. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I hadn't even started here. It was Memorial Day weekend before I even began. And Mark says to me, I don't think anybody does anything altruistically. I think everyone does anything, even if it's a good thing, even if it's a nice thing, for their own benefit.
And it's not a bad thing.
And it's not a bad thing, but he was challenging me and he said, what do you think about Mother Teresa? And I've been around the church and people long enough to say, later. I'm not having this conversation with you right now.
And what I said was she was the most selfish person ever to live.
Mother Teresa?
Yes.
Exactly. You
Because
did.
can you imagine how good it must feel to give that much?
That's what it's about.
And that's what it's about. Think
Yep.
about how good she must have felt. And I'm being serious. Think about how good it feels
That's true.
to help somebody else out.
That's true.
And that's what I mean by it. Giving is such a great thing. It's great for the person that receives, but it's also great for the person who gives. And that's the people
Yeah,
we're talking
the
to
gifts
tonight.
are
That's right.
multiplied back to you.
That's
Yes.
right. So let's talk a little bit about brain development. The part of the brain that lights up with giving is the same place that lights up with sex and drugs.
Well,
So this should be a really fun night for
Rob
everyone.
Kennard again, Dirty Hippie. You know what we're talking about?
5,000.
Rob's brain is lit up like the 4th of July right now.
This is why we train our children in giving, because it does something in our brain that makes us feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it really does.
it does. See, I was right.
Yeah.
Thank you for agreeing with
I
me.
know you always make the story.
We
end
don't
up
we don't
that way.
always see eye to eye, but on this one, she's 100% on my team.
Mark always brings it back to that. See, I was right.
It's very important. Tom?
I am so happy to see you all here.
Wait,
And
let's
I-
not be done.
Oh, we're not done.
No,
oh,
I want
I'm
to talk
sorry.
about the Association of Religious Communities.
do it.
Okay.
Okay, so you saw Rabbi John Haddon here, who is an emeritus rabbi. He, that's right, he's one of our favorite people. He's always good for a story, and he loves humanity. So it's always a delight to have him around. And he has been serving on the board of the Association of Religious Communities, which does incredible work there in Danbury. And the thing that I'm struck with, they have a program that no other place has in the state, which is for men who have been charged with abuse. And they have an emotional support group for men to help them work through their anger issues and their aggression. And John has been on the team of facilitating this group. The Women's Center of Danbury also has something similar, but a little bit different. But ARC, the Association of Religious Communities, stands alone in that. Another thing that the Association for Religious Communities stands alone in is their attention to housing for adolescents, the homeless adolescents, which there are a goodly number, more than one might expect. There aren't very many organizations that address homeless youth, and ARC is the only one in Danbury that addresses homeless youth.
So Whitney, is it fair to say that St. Stephen's as a community has curated a wonderful list of organizations?
Yes.
You always think about, like, I always think about when I'm giving money, like if I give to this one, it's at the cost of another. And so it's nice that there's been it's been a lot of, is it thoughtfulness? Is that the right word?
Yeah, I think that's a good word.
There's been a lot of thoughtfulness into putting together which charity St. Stephen supports, and so you can really feel good about that, right? You
That's
know,
true.
Absolutely.
That's
Because
true.
So thank you, Whitney,
And I'm not
everyone.
done.
I know, I'm not done. I'm just thanking you again.
Okay. Did you want to say something?
No, I just like to repeat things.
Oh, okay, good. Did you have something, Tom?
I do not. I'll
Okay,
let
so let
you
me
go.
talk about Renewal House. Renewal House is for homeless elderly. And I don't know how well you're aware of some of the things that befall people that makes them all of a sudden poor. Divorce can be one of the quick trajectories to poverty. Job loss, medical issues. So Renewal House attends specifically to elderly who are homeless and who are poor. There are not many places in the state of Connecticut that are affordable housing for the elderly. When I went to one of their fundraising breakfasts, I was aghast to learn there were only 2 places of affordable housing for elderly in the state of Connecticut, and Renewal House is one of those. So we don't think about that, we just don't seem to notice it. We have often in our minds a particular picture of what a homeless person might look like, and elderly is not one of them. So they have so many fantastic stories. I don't know if they're on their website or not, of people who have gotten back on their feet after maybe even an injury on the job. Some things that you think, oh, I'm good now, that these folks thought too and found themselves, with nothing. So I commend Renewal House to you too. It's, we have lots of conversations about affordable housing, and rarely do we think about it when it comes to elderly in our state.
I mentioned this before, but one of the wonderful things about Ridgefield is the way people care, and the greater Danbury area has so many avenues to be able to express that care. And twice now you've said that these were things that are kind of unique to this area.
Right.
And we are lucky to be able to support those kinds of things.
And just a note from the control deck here: if anybody's having difficulty using the app or making any kind of a donation online, we're happy to do it for you here. We have a kiosk where we can just type you in and enter a bid on your behalf.
Thank you, Jonathan.
You can put Rob down for 5,000.
We do need to thank Jonathan and Ryan for even finding a way for us to do this live stream. Yeah, so we could be outside and it could be so beautiful, and that people who can't be with us could be with us.
I heard that Jonathan arranged the weather too.
I wouldn't put it past him. I would say he makes miracles happen all the time.
Every Sunday, at least.
But one of the things with this lofty goal is, with a little bit here and a little bit there, we can make a big difference. So I encourage you to share this with your friends. Really, $10, $25, $50, $100, $250. I know. What'd you say?
2,000.
2,000.
Yeah.
There are different people who can give different amounts. And what I want to highlight, though, is that people are usually looking for a good place to give money. I mean, we're bombarded with all kinds of opportunities. So any of these organizations that we're offering to you tonight through St. Stephen's are ones that have been vetted, and we have people on the ground that are in connection with these organizations. So I commend them to you. I know I've got a little short list to reach out to and beg for at least $25 from those people who also give to a lot of other things.
That's a great idea. It's like, it's that whole thing, it's like, remember the shampoo commercial, like she told a friend and she told a friend, and it keeps them multiplying?
I don't remember that commercial, but I believe you.
You have to be of a certain age.
Yeah.
Mark and I are the same age.
Yeah. Back in my day, Whitney, there were commercials on TV.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't just all this social media. But
we had to sit through the whole thing.
There's no DVR either.
What's good? So Whitney and I agreed twice in the same night. This is amazing. So
The end of
reach
the
out to
world is
friends as
near.
well. There are people that are sitting at home and growing beards and growing their hair like Jonathan, who are looking for a place to give money. So just point them in the direction.
Help
we'll
them
take
out.
it.
Yeah, absolutely, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Your friends, our friends, they're all good friends.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I am looking at the clock, and it is 6:25, and we did pay attention to when the sun sets tonight, which is 6:33 or something like that. So we don't want to keep you into the darkness where you can't find your way back to your car. So thank you. I want to say thank you to Jonathan and Ryan for being here early, bringing the cords and the plugs and the thingamajigs and the whatchamacallits and the stuff. Yeah, it's just opened up a lot of opportunities for us as a community. I want to thank Mark and Tom, who are willing to be in front of you and to relate to each other and feed off each other. They're getting pretty good at this, so they've got the jackets to prove it. And
Marshall O'Dean.
Marshall O'Dean, who
Yes.
provided the
Yeah.
food. Wasn't that
Yeah.
a delight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's in the
Takes
thing, but
us back
I know,
to the days
I
we
know
could sit at
Sarah
the same table.
Pampicella, Jeffrey Morris.
Oh yeah. Thank
I'm sure
you.
the
thank
Seabirds,
you.
they do
My
everything.
Turn. My
Like,
turn.
yeah,
No,
yeah, you start
you're
listing
absolutely
people.
right. We had a very small and dedicated team to pull off this year's Nutmeg Neighbors 2020. Thank you, Mark. So it was Jeffrey Morris, Jack Herr, Sarah Pompicello, Rebby Townsend. Now Jeffrey's over there. Wave, Jeffrey. Rebby and Sarah are here. Matthew Breitenbach, which I think he's already left. Kimberly Bishop, who wasn't able to come tonight. And then, did I already say Jack? I said him already,
Yeah.
right?
Say it again.
No, it's okay.
Go to event.
But what a great team, because in the last 4 weeks, this has all been made possible because of their willingness to give some time and creative effort. So,
Absolutely.
all right.
You going to
so
sing
now
us
to
out?
sing a song? or
Okay,
anything?
yeah, sure. What do you want to sing?
I don't know, but to help people, feel
You
motivated.
sing better
you
than
know.
Sarah. Do you want to come up here and lead a song with the choir? Anyone, come
Love
on,
it.
I
Sarah. I
think
know
we should a karaoke song.
nothing you love more than being put in the spot.
Is it Sweet Caroline? Is that what we're supposed to say?
Treat me like a fool.
You are.
Treat me mean and cruel.
Is it Sweet Caroline?
Yes,
What
Sweet
is it?
Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
Bum, bum, bum.
bum.
Good times.
Never
All right.
felt so
So
good.
So good. So good. So good.
That's worth at least $1,000.
Right there.
Right there.
Just to get us to stop.
Yeah. We're gonna sing till someone raises their hand for $1,000. So are we done?
We are done.
All right. Listen.
Thanks,
in
y'all.
all sincerity, thank you all so much. Thank you for your generosity. And like I said, tell friends, tell neighbors, and hopefully next year we won't have wood stakes in the ground, and
Right.
it'll be back to a more normal thing. So
can sit at the same
hang in
table.
there. It's been tough for all of us, but we're all gonna
Yes.
get through this. So
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right, then.